It's clear we're witnessing a massive passenger rail renaissance in Illinois. We are investing almost $2 billion in federal funds into our passenger rail infrastructure in our state, building new locomotives and train cars right here in Illinois. Those new cars will be used in Champaign and all across the Midwest. We're increasing speeds on Chicago-St. Louis route up to 110 miles an hour, building new routes from Chicago to the Quad Cities and Rockford. However, our success is threatened when the trains we have today are not reliable or on time. Many of you have experienced the frustration of being stuck behind a freight train or looked out the window while the train crawls across a crossing. Those problems made the Chicago-Champaign-Carbondale route the most delayed train route of its kind in America. The Illini and Saluki trains are consistently delayed by freight trains, resulting in trains arriving on time only 48.9% of the time this fiscal year. One train, the 392 train from Carbondale to Chicago, is arriving on time only 34% of the time this year. Worse still is how late these trains are. Only 29.3% of southbound trains coming into Champaign arrived within 15 minutes of their scheduled arrival. These performance numbers risk wasting the progress and investments we've made. The main problem we face, freight train interference. The law gives Amtrak preference on our nation's rail lines. But despite this right, freight trains often make Amtrak trains sit and wait while long, slow trains lumber past them on the track. Canadian National, CN, owns the tracks that Amtrak uses between Chicago and Carbondale. They have consistently performed poorly on this route. In 2013, a constituent wrote to me with complaints that Amtrak service on the Chicago-Carbondale route, was very rough due to track conditions. The constituent also expressed concerns about the rough ride all the way to New Orleans, all of which is owned by CN. I asked the Federal Railway Administration and the Illinois Commerce Commission to look into it. The FRA discovered 143 exceptions to their track safety standards on the route from Cairo, Illinois to New Orleans, 143. They included 3 of these exceptions in a recommendation for a civil penalty against Canadian National. The ICC found serious problems with the ballast condition on the Illinois tracks. ICC wrote to CN and recommended several areas along the Illinois portion of the tracks need to have track ballast removed and replaced with new material. I'm not aware of CN taking up any action as a result of these recommendations. CN has a long history of delaying Amtrak trains and delaying investments that could improve passenger and freight service. We're here today to learn about the Surface Transportation Board's role in this dispute and to encourage CN to finally step up and make the changes necessary to improve Amtrak service. Good on-time performance for Amtrak is not just a matter of convenience. Improved on-time performance saves taxpayers dollars. The Department of Transportation Inspector General found improving Amtrak's on-time performance to 85% would mean $136 million plus for Amtrak. These savings could be put right back in to additional improved service right here in Illinois. I'm happy that the Surface Transportation Board Chairman is with us today. I helped pass legislation to give the Surface Transportation Board the authority to enforce Amtrak's right to the rail. The STB also was given the authority to investigate Amtrak delays and issue fines if they found the freight trains responsible. I recently met with the chairman, who's here today in Washington, to discuss this issue. I invited him to come downstate. He was with us in Chicago this morning, but to come downstate so he could hear directly. With ridership and revenue at an all-time high for Amtrak, this is not the time for further delay. Late trains and unnecessary delays turn passengers away. All of us here today understand the basic component of continued growth and building of Amtrak service.